traded in its tightest range of the year. 12 and a half, 50, 70 cents, less than 35 basis points. So we're gapping up this morning a little bit. I guess you could say right around the midpoint of this most recent trading range. So for today, yesterday fade worked good. Faded this pop here, but covered too quickly. We did come back and test the morning low. I guess when I was gone early yesterday, we did touch that. I'm assuming people bought here. The support. So very tight. You want to look for holds outside or move outside of this area, and then we'll go from there. Above here, we're looking at 213.60s to 213.80s. Below here, obviously people are thinking 212, and we'll see what happens there. IWM, which was weaker than the SPYs when it broke through 120, now stabilized. Tested right below 118 a couple of days in a row. So you see it close back above 119. You want to really think about it moving higher. If you get that close above 119 and it starts to get some momentum to the upside, you bring it right back down to this downtrend line for the last month. Probably bring it somewhere in around the 120.50 to 121 area. Here, you close here. People get excited. 120.80 into the downtrend. Okay, L Brands normally trades about 1.7 million shares. They guided down EPS 10%, so it's a pretty clean piece of news. If we look at it, had some craziness in 2014 to 2015. Went from 60 to 95. And more recently, 95 to 60. Now it's gapping. It's gapping to around this area right here.
I'll look to short back into Netflix ops.
So looking at the up move from 64.30 here to 80.
Up there against 126.
Once it started to bounce off this area here,
Also got Baba on the list.
the next day it opened at 66, which we're getting close. And then you can see, I think I put 66.50 on the sheet for support, because after it started to move back up here, you can see these three wicks in a row. So I put them wicking down into the 66.5 area, but closing higher.
Also, I've got LB still got down. Earnings. So possibly short pops 68.
So it's already been below the 66.5. So let's see if it pops up to this area right on the open, fails, maybe retest, trade this 2-point range. So the Macau gaming revenue reported, I put LVS instead of Win, because Win tends to be a little bit whippier. So we looked at LVS, I think, a couple of weeks ago when it got close to the 60 area, which is been a pretty good long-term resistance short area. It was right on the open. We spiked through that prior high, got hit. We closed 59, came off the next few days right into long-term support. So it's a pretty good longer-term consolidation area now. So you have very clean support and two interesting kind of resistance areas. The bid's 58.75 right now, which pushes it back into this range again. So on the open, if it's holding above 58.60, it brings in that 59.40 to 59.80 area. Can't hold the 58.60, then you have 58, and then below that, the support again in the 57. GCI has been crushed recently. You can see gap down the other day. They sold it from 980 down to the next day came off a little bit more yesterday, lower volume, less momentum. They announced they were canceling some potential acquisition, which I guess they're not in a position after the stock got hammered to do that. People who are buying into this down the last couple of days, if they get an opportunity to sell 860, 870 on the open, that could be interesting. If it starts to hold below 850 again, look for it to fade back down lower and see if it can maybe make a higher low. It was accumulated the last day and a half, I guess, right at a really tight area in the 780s. In this situation where something's hammered down, they cancel a buy. It can go either way. It's kind of, it gaps up. People use that for an opportunity to sell, but sometimes it's being accumulated already. You get a higher low and do something like that. Above 850, you have 875-ish. This area here. And the big one's up here where it broke down from here. Okay, so Twilio, it just beaten down. I got an upgrade from Oppenheimer today, so I don't know if this is gonna, I mean, this may just get it to start moving sideways now as opposed to just having some sort of V bottom. But I mean, from this area right down here above 34, what I'd like to see is a higher low. And they pounded this 4 different times yesterday. I don't know if it was the upgrade, it was after the close, but it did pop after the close. Remember what I said the last couple times we talked about it. Once it bottoms, you got to look for a 20% move from off of where it bottoms pretty quickly. That would bring it back to, if this was the bottom, that would bring it back up to here, right about here, which is, would be potential resistance anyway from this breakdown here. We made a lower high, so somewhere between 40 and 41. CTL. So CTL was a merger R play. I'll talk more about these for those of you who are in DNA when we get to one of my lectures, I think next week or the week after. But we did talk about it in the morning meeting yesterday, and we talked about it. I put it into the chat, which is a deal of that size with that much stock being issued. You do get and that wide of a spread. You're going to get some good selling pressure from the risk arb funds now. We still got our pop right on the open into this resistance pre-market. Nasty pop here where I think it shook some people out. Trended down to 27, held a little bit higher here. Looked like maybe risk arb guys were done, but they got it to go down to the longer term support. And that's where we opened today. So looking at it for today, the afternoon basically The support was 26.50, and it could not hold above 26.67 or so. So let's use this consolidation range from yesterday afternoon as a guidepost for today. I'm still long a little bit from 52 cents. BHI, I think I actually spent some time explaining the dynamic going on here, which doesn't happen that often, which is you have a gap up on some news which looks like longer term is going to be good for the company, but this isn't Netflix or Amazon. There's usually not a lot of momentum guys chasing it, and so if it doesn't hold the 62 bid here, then it's how far is it going to go before the value people want to buy it, and you can see that there were no real, I guess it maybe hesitated a little bit in this 56 area. Actually 58 on the open, it popped like a point from there before it started to roll again. But the value guys were accumulating before this news between 54 and 55. That's pretty much where we got yesterday. In the afternoon I wasn't around, but it looks like 54.60 was the bottom. We'll see if it accumulates for a day or so in this area. I could see it definitely running back up to 58 to 60 once the dust settles. VRX, some news broke during the afternoon when I wasn't around. The CFO and ex-CFO and ex-CEO being investigated by the FBI. That's never a good thing. I think the risk here is more that somehow it's a violation of their debt covenants than actual risk to their business. Remember, last time it was rolling over, there was a worry that they were going to violate their debt covenants and the bondholders could pull their bonds. The question is, the fact that a former CFO and CEO are under investigation, is that a material adverse change to their condition? I actually don't know the answer to that. My hunch is it isn't, but that's probably the concern. So after hours was down at 1770. Looks like 18 is going to be a pivot point on the open for this one. And if they buy there and they start holding higher and higher, I could see it grinding its way back up to 19. I could see people just massively panicking. I mean, I guess what's his name, Ackman's not going to get out of his position. If he did, that could cause it to go down a few more dollars. Right? So not a lot going on today. After the close tomorrow, Facebook, that's going to be big for after hours trading as well as Thursday. That could make the week if it sets up well. I've got family obligations, so I'll be off the desk for a good chunk, probably after the open. But I will be doing a lecture at 4:45 for DNA on risk, which is one of my favorite lectures. As always, be patient and good luck.
Hope you enjoyed that video. You can actually watch that video if you're subscribed to our Trader 90 before the market even opens. What stocks are in play? What levels in those stocks are important? And how we might go about attacking that stock. That's Steve Spencer, 20-year veteran trader, laying it out there every morning before the market even opens. A really, really powerful tool to start your session off on the right foot. So right now we're offering a trial that you can take advantage of to access this meeting and other meetings throughout the day. We have a meeting at 11 a.m. Eastern where you can sit down with Mike Bellafiore and listen to him talk about what's going on during the morning session, what stocks were in play, what the best trade opportunities were, as well as maybe some things that we're looking at heading into the afternoon session. So I really encourage you to take advantage of that trial.